Tonight, F and Pence. That's how former President Donald Trump referred to his vice president after he refused to overturn the election on January 6th. That's according to testimony by White House aide John McCabe in the latest round of transcripts released by the Select Committee. McCabe also revealing that Trump mentioned a blanket pardon for those charged in the January 6th riot, and also testifying, quote, "I remember the president saying, well, what if I pardon the people that weren't violent, that just walked into the building?" McCabe says White House counsel Pat Cipollone rejected that idea. Out front now, Andrew McCabe, former deputy director of the FBI and CNN's senior law enforcement analyst. Director McCabe, let's first talk about what we just got from those transcripts. Your reaction to Trump floating an idea about pardoning people who were charged in the January 6th riot?
Yeah, it's amazing on a lot of different levels, Sarah, but I think two things are really important to keep in mind here. One, the fact that he was considering issuing a pardon to anyone who essentially entered the Capitol on that day shows you that he knew it was wrong, that those people might face some criminal liability for what they had done, i.e. they had potentially done something criminal. And I think the second thing is, it shows you undeniably that he saw the people who entered the Capitol, who attacked our Capitol, as his people. So this should forever put to rest any of these crazy notions that, it was actually, Antifa or FBI informants or somebody else. With that statement, Donald Trump acknowledges that these are his people and he's trying to protect them from criminal liability, i.e. he knows they might face some.
Dang, you're good. I didn't think of that one, McCabe. You've been very vocal about the ongoing threat for extremism in this country. And Cassidy Hutchinson told the January 6th committee about several times QAnon discussions took place in the White House, including this exchange with Peter Navarro, saying, quote, "At one point I had sarcastically said, 'Oh, is this from your QAnon friends, Peter?' Because Peter would talk to me frequently about his QAnon friends. He said, 'Have you looked into it yet, Cass? I think they point out a lot of good ideas. You really need to read this. Make sure the chief sees it.' And Hutchinson later added, 'I did not take that as sarcasm.'" What does this tell you, that this is something people around President Trump are trying to get him to believe these insane conspiracies?
It's remarkable, and it's on a different level from the other comments that Cassidy Hutchinson makes in her testimony about Marjorie Taylor Greene, who apparently on the plane on the way back from an appearance in Georgia, she shows the former president photographs of some of her people wearing QAnon t-shirts and says, "These are my people, these are my constituents." That's understandable, right? That's what we kind of expect to hear from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Peter Navarro is a different thing entirely. He is a senior advisor to the president of the United States. He's in the White House every day. He's conferring with Trump on all sorts of different issues. And the fact that he takes seriously some of these fever dream fantasies of the QAnon folks and is recommending that those positions be brought to the attention of the president of the United States, it's absolutely ridiculous. It shows you what a state of chaos and quite frankly, the lack of quality of people who were advising the president at that crucial time. It's just, it's really remarkable.
I want to move on from these transcripts because something really curious has been happening with a certain social media site. Before we go, an internal notice was sent to House staff today announcing that TikTok has been banned on all electric devices managed by the House of Representatives, saying it is a high risk to users due to a number of security risks. And that's a quote. It's also expected to be banned soon from all federal devices. What does this tell you? Is this a good call?
It's a great call, Sarah. It is a great call. So we have, the intelligence community has known for some time that the proximity or the relationship between the Chinese government and entities, Chinese-owned entities like TikTok, is too close for comfort. And there is a substantial risk that if you share your personal information with TikTok, it could become vulnerable to being exposed to or used by the Chinese government. That risk elevates 100-fold if you work for the federal government, if you're in a position of trust with the federal government, you're elected representative. So TikTok should not be present on any devices that are sitting in the hands of the people that we trust to run the government.
Do you think young people should be using it?
I think it's really questionable. I mean, it's very different if you're just a private citizen, and if you've made the decision that you're not concerned about that risk, that's certainly your decision to make. I don't use TikTok for exactly this reason. I don't have anything to do with that. But I think it's something that all Americans should consider very seriously.
Ms. McCabe, thank you so much for the insight. We appreciate it.